Did you know that a simple-looking 1967 1-cent USA coin, something millions of Americans once overlooked and used without a second thought, could now be worth up to a staggering $649 due to its rarity, historical context, and jaw-dropping minting errors, making it one of the most unexpectedly valuable pieces of American coinage history ever discovered? And in this video, we'll take a deep dive into every mysterious corner and fascinating detail of this humble penny that turned into a hidden treasure. So stay tuned and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin stories that could turn your change into a fortune, because what seems ordinary can often be extraordinary in the numismatic world, where collectors search relentlessly for elusive gems like the 1967 Lincoln Memorial Cent, a coin that might appear no different from others at a glance but holds immense secrets that set it apart and catapult its value to hundreds of dollars. And to understand this fully, we must first consider the historical setting of the year 1967, a time marked by significant changes in U.S. coinage, just after the Coinage Act of 1965, when the United States Mint was phasing out silver from its dimes, quarters, and half dollars and was under pressure to meet public demand for circulating coins, leading to massive production numbers and changes in minting techniques, including the removal of mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967 in an attempt to discourage coin hoarding. So every 1967 penny you find will not have a mint mark, regardless of whether it was produced in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, which already sets the tone for the complexities surrounding these coins. Now, among these billions of 1967 1-cent coins, a few rare examples stand out, not just because of their age but because of die errors, off-center strikes, double dies, planchet anomalies, and other fascinating minting mistakes that drive collectors wild, such as the famous 1967 double die obverse, which features dramatic doubling in areas like Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date itself, a type of error that can easily go unnoticed to an untrained eye but makes a huge difference in the coin's value, or the off-center strikes ranging from just 5% to over 80% off, which create visually stunning error coins that are one of a kind. And collectors will pay premiums for coins where the design is misaligned yet the date remains visible, because that keeps it attributable and desirable. And then there are the struck-through errors, where foreign materials like grease or cloth interfere with the strike process and cause parts of the coin's design to appear missing or distorted, giving each affected coin a unique fingerprint of its chaotic moment of creation. And we must not forget the role that planchet errors play, instances where the metal disc used to strike the coin was flawed, clipped, or improperly prepared, resulting in unusual weight, shape, or texture that's immediately noticeable upon closer inspection. And the combination of these factors, when present on a coin minted during a transitional and high-pressure era like 1967, makes for a perfect storm of collector intrigue and increased market value. And while the majority of 1967 pennies in circulation today are only worth face value, those bearing significant errors or preserved in high grades by services like PCGS or NGC have been known to fetch astonishing prices at auctions and private sales, with MS-67 red examples commanding hundreds of dollars alone due to their rarity and eye appeal. And when you factor in an error on such a high-grade coin, that price can easily surge into the $649 or higher range depending on demand and uniqueness. So the message is clear: every time you come across a 1967 penny, whether it's lying in an old jar, hiding in a drawer, or returned in your change, take a moment to inspect it carefully, because you might be holding onto a piece of American minting history that defies its humble appearance. And as collectors around the globe become more aware of the hidden treasures in common-looking coins, the demand for such rare errors continues to climb, increasing their value and spotlighting the 1967 1-cent coin as a true underdog story in numismatics. So now the question becomes, how can you spot one of these coins and determine its value? And for that, you'll need a keen eye, a basic magnifier or coin loop, and a good reference guide to known errors from the year. Because often what determines a coin's worth isn't just the error itself but the condition, visibility, and rarity of the flaw, along with how well it has been preserved across the decades. And yes, some of the highest prices have been paid for full red, RD, specimens showing no signs of wear or discoloration, as the original mint luster adds both aesthetic and market value. And we've even seen examples certified by top grading services sell at online auctions and through dealer networks at prices that seem unbelievable for a 1-cent piece. But that's exactly what makes this niche hobby so exciting and potentially profitable, because even a single find like this can be life-changing, or at the very least provide a thrilling connection to the history of American coinage. So if you're someone who loves digging through change, collecting historical items, or just enjoys a good mystery, then the 1967 1-cent coin is something you absolutely must be on the lookout for, especially those with known varieties or errors, and with billions minted but only a tiny fraction surviving in pristine condition or bearing those money-making mistakes. It's truly a treasure hunt that anyone can participate in, and what makes it even better is that this treasure hunt doesn't require expensive tools or advanced knowledge to begin. It only takes curiosity, a bit of research, and the willingness to check every penny that passes through your hands. Because you never know when your next coin find could be the legendary 1967 1-cent with a value of $649 or more, so join the growing community of collectors and enthusiasts who understand the hidden value in everyday pocket change and start your own numismatic journey today by subscribing to our channel for more real stories of ordinary coins turned extraordinary, rare finds hiding in plain sight, and detailed guides that teach you how to spot the next valuable error before someone else does. Because we're committed to helping you uncover these forgotten pieces of American history and showing you how small coins can lead to big money, so be sure to like this video, share it with fellow coin enthusiasts, and hit that subscribe button to never miss a story that could turn your next coin into a collector's jackpot. Next. 1988 1-cent coin. Are you holding onto a simple 1988 1-cent coin from the United States without realizing it could be a hidden treasure worth far more than its face value? You might want to take a closer look, because what appears to be just a regular penny minted in 1988 has shocked collectors and numismatic experts alike, fetching up to $163 due to rare errors, overlooked variations, and historically significant features that have propelled this common-looking coin into the realm of big money collectibles. And this is exactly the kind of numismatic mystery that keeps treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts scanning their pocket change every single day, because the value of this coin isn't just about its copper-plated zinc surface or the iconic Lincoln bust but about the anomalies that occurred during its minting, and these anomalies are what transform a routine 1-cent piece into an ultra-desirable object of historical and monetary significance. So before you toss your change into a coin jar or vending machine, understand that a 1988 penny could very well make you hundreds of dollars richer, and as we explore the mystery of the 1988 Lincoln cent, we'll unlock the fascinating reasons why this coin has surged in demand among collectors, starting with the infamous transitional errors that make this coin a rare find. Because in the mid-1980s the US Mint was transitioning from copper coins to copper-plated zinc, and some 1988 coins were struck using a 1989 reverse die, known as the reverse of 89 variety, an error that collectors obsess over since the reverse design from 1989 featured subtle but distinct differences in the designer's initials, the FG initials near the Lincoln Memorial, which appear in a different position and with sharper clarity compared to the earlier 1988 reverse die, and this very design mix-up has turned a number of ordinary-looking 1988 pennies into numismatic royalty, fetching prices upwards of $100 and even exceeding $163 for well-preserved or high-grade specimens, particularly those certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. But that's only part of the story, because some 1988 pennies have been found with striking errors, including off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, and clipped planchets, which add exponential value to a coin already carrying hidden significance due to its transitional confusion. And in a numismatic market hungry for coins with a story, the 1988 Lincoln cent checks every box. It has history, rarity, minting anomalies, and demand. But it gets even more exciting when you consider that millions of these coins were minted and are still in circulation, meaning that the next big discovery could be lying in your wallet, under your couch, or in a forgotten piggy bank just waiting to be found. And if you come across a 1988 penny that shows signs of doubling, especially in the lettering such as Liberty or I in God We Trust, or if you notice any anomalies in Lincoln's profile or the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, you could be looking at a coin that's worth far more than 1 cent, with error types like doubled dies being especially prized when the doubling is strong and clear. And let's not forget about the condition, because uncirculated or mint state 1988 pennies with these features are exponentially more valuable than worn ones, and the coin's grade can be the difference between pocket change and a 3-figure payday, so it's worth learning how to evaluate coin condition or having a professional grade it for you, especially if you suspect you have one of these prized transitional or error varieties. And thanks to the internet and online marketplaces like eBay and Heritage Auctions, it's now easier than ever to compare your coin with verified high-value sales and get a sense of what yours might fetch, and documented examples of these rare 1988 cents have been sold for $100, $125, $150, and even more. with some listing prices going as high as $200 depending on the exact nature of the error and the quality of the coin, and when a single cent coin commands such prices, it draws in not only seasoned collectors but also curious everyday people who never imagined that their spare change could be so valuable, and that's part of the excitement and mystique of coin collecting, the idea that a tiny, overlooked detail, like a misaligned die, a doubling in the motto, or a design from a different year, can skyrocket the value of something as mundane as a penny, and this fuels a thriving community of collectors, YouTubers, TikTokers, and Facebook groups all dedicated to tracking down these little copper or zinc marvels, trading stories, sharing photos, and celebrating the thrill of the find, and the 1988 penny is a perfect example of how important it is to stay informed and vigilant because whether you're a casual hobbyist or a serious collector, you never know when you might come across a coin that could change your fortunes. And when the average person hears that a penny could be worth $163 or more, the first instinct might be disbelief, but this isn't just about hype, it's backed by real-world examples, professional appraisals, and auction records that have proven time and again that the 1988 1-cent coin is more than just a piece of old change, it's a sleeper collectible with rising value as more people become aware of its hidden traits and as clean examples become harder to find in circulation, which means the window to discover one of these gems is shrinking year by year, making it all the more urgent for you to check your coins now while opportunities still exist, because each passing day sees more of these rare specimens getting scooped up by collectors, graded, stored away, and taken off the market, so don't wait until it's too late to realize you may have passed up a small fortune, and whether you're new to coins or have been saving pennies for decades, the 1988 Lincoln cent deserves your attention because it represents everything that makes U.S. coin collecting so thrilling, a blend of history, accident, design evolution, and the joy of discovery, and now that you know what to look for, the reverse of 89, strong doubling, off-center strikes, or other minting mishaps, it's time to revisit those jars, drawers, and coin rolls you may have tucked away, because you might just uncover a penny that makes headlines, enters your collection, or ends up paying for your next big expense. And if this deep dive into the 1988 penny has opened your eyes to the world of coin collecting and the treasures that may lie right under your nose, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories and values, and stay tuned because every coin has a story, and your 1988 1-cent USA coin with a face value of just 1 penny and a potential collector value of $163 might just be the beginning of your journey into the world of big money in coin history. Next. 2060 1-cent coin. Today we uncover the hidden truth behind a small yet mighty piece of American currency that has shocked collectors and numismatic enthusiasts across the globe, the 2006 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has baffled experts, stunned auction houses, and transformed casual pocket change into treasure chests of hidden value as this copper-plated zinc penny minted in Denver in the year 2006 has made headlines for being worth not 1 cent but as much as $62 in auctions and private sales due to a set of remarkable mint errors, fascinating mechanical flaws, and production anomalies that make this one of the most desirable modern pennies in recent history. And as we dive deep into this numismatic marvel, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the coins that could be sitting right now in your pocket or tucked away in your childhood piggy bank, because the story of the 2006 penny is not just about a face value of 1 cent turned into $62, it's about the incredible impact of seemingly minor mistakes during the minting process and how those errors create rarity, mystery, and immense value in the eyes of seasoned collectors and enthusiastic treasure hunters alike. And it all begins with understanding what makes the 2006 penny so distinct and why so many are beginning to realize they may have had a tiny fortune lying unnoticed in their coin jars for decades, starting with the mint mark D indicating its birth at the Denver Mint, a facility known for high-volume production where coins are churned out at mind-boggling speeds, often leading to imperfections that slip through quality control and end up circulating among the masses, waiting for the trained eye or the lucky finder to discover their hidden worth. And among these errors are the now famous double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuds, broad strikes, and even missing elements on the reverse end. Obverse, which set the stage for an incredible rise in value far beyond its intended 1-cent utility, and collectors have zeroed in on particular traits found in the 2006 penny, such as strong doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust," Lincoln's eye, and the letters of liberty, all signs of a double die obverse. An error caused when the die used to stamp the coin has been impressed twice but not precisely aligned, resulting in a coin that appears to have shadowed or ghosted letters and Features which when identified and authenticated can drive the price from a few cents to several dozen dollars instantly. And then there's the off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly centered under the die when struck, leading to part of the design being cut off. And while minor off-center strikes may not garner much attention, those with a 5% to 20% misalignment, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible, are especially valuable and desirable to error collectors who consider this the sweet spot for aesthetic appeal and collectability. And then come the cuds, raised blobs of metal that appear on the coin's surface caused by a piece of the die breaking off during minting, resulting in a blank area that fills with metal during the strike, leaving a lumpy, unnatural, yet highly collectible feature on the penny. And 2006 D cents with these raised deformities have commanded impressive premiums depending on their location and size, and some of the most valuable show cuds near the rim around the date or covering parts of Lincoln's portrait. And as we explore even further, the die cracks, fine raised lines that run across the coin's surface, are another frequent feature on the 2006 D Lincoln cents, which might seem insignificant, but in the error coin community these cracks, especially when dramatic and spider web-like, are seen as evidence of a die nearing the end of its life. And when combined with other errors such as weak strikes or tilted dies, they boost the uniqueness and value of the coin significantly. And one of the most talked about error types among these coins includes the so-called floating roof variety, where on the reverse side of the Lincoln Memorial the top of the memorial roof appears to be detached from the pillars due to die polishing or grease-filled dies, leading to missing design elements, which gives the illusion that the roof is floating above the structure. And this is not only visually striking but also highly sought after by those in the know, with documented sales of this error variant ranging from $10 to $62 depending on condition, visibility, and grading. And another rare anomaly associated with the 2006 D penny is the No FG variety, where the initials of Frank Gasparo, the designer of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, which usually appear near the base of the memorial, are missing entirely. And this typically occurs when overpolishing of the die erases the delicate initials, and although subtle, this missing feature is another element that elevates the penny from mere spare change to a valuable collectible. And while these major errors are exciting, there are also smaller yet important indicators that increase value, such as planchet flaws, which involve the blank metal discs before striking having imperfections like laminations or incomplete alloys, leading to coins that appear cracked, bubbled, or oddly colored. And many 2006 D examples have been found with these traits, which when authenticated and in mint state can bring significant collector interest. And let's not forget the striking anomalies such as multiple strikes, where the coin has been hit more than once by the dies, resulting in overlapping images and ghosting effects that make the coin look distorted or even surreal. And these rare occurrences are prized for their dramatic appearance, and even more so when combined with other errors like off-center alignment or missing elements. And another often overlooked aspect that contributes to the elevated value of these pennies is the coin's condition, with coins in mint state, MS 65 and above, being particularly rare among circulated examples. And when an error coin is discovered in pristine condition with full red color and luster, its value can exponentially increase. And some 2006 D pennies with dramatic errors have been slabbed and graded by PCGS or NGC and sold at prices upwards of $60, particularly when the coin exhibits multiple error types combined, which multiplies its rarity and collector appeal. And as more collectors and dealers recognize the error-prone nature of the 2006 D mintage, the competition to find high-quality, high-error specimens has intensified, leading to more of these coins being sold online through eBay auctions, collector forums, and estate sales, with many buyers willing to pay over face value even for lesser-known variations because of the excitement and intrigue surrounding this particular mintage. And while not every 2006 D penny is worth a fortune, the chances of finding one with a small but significant error are higher than many other years, making it a hot topic in the coin hunting community and a popular focus of roll hunting, where collectors go through rolls of pennies from banks in hopes of finding one of these anomalies. And even beyond the monetary gain, the thrill of the hunt and the historical significance of finding an error coin make the 2006 D penny an enduring favorite among both novice and experienced numismatists. And as the number of untouched 2006 D rolls dwindles and the finest examples get certified and tucked away into private collections, the remaining coins in circulation continue to rise in value, creating a rush for discovery among those who might still unknowingly possess one. And this brings us to the final point, that whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a jar of coins at home, it's worth taking a closer look at every 2006 D penny you come across, because that seemingly insignificant copper coin might just carry a hidden flaw that transforms its value and writes a new chapter in your collecting journey. And with the right combination of mint error, good condition, and a little bit of luck, your 1 cent could very well become $62 or more. So don't forget to spread the word, keep looking, And stay curious because the next big discovery might be resting right in your hands. And to stay updated on all things related to rare coins, valuable mint errors, and tips to grow your coin collection, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the community of passionate collectors uncovering the stories behind every coin, because the 2006 1-cent coin, once worth just a penny, now has the power to change how we look at spare change forever. Next, 1978 1-cent coin. Today we dive deep into the fascinating mystery of the 1978 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a humble penny that has astounded collectors and auctioneers alike by reaching an eye-popping value of $109 due to a rare combination of mint errors, anomalies, and production inconsistencies that transform what would normally be a simple coin lost in pocket change into a remarkable piece of American numismatic history. And if you're watching right now, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that uncovers the secret treasures in your pocket change. And now let's unravel the enigma behind the 1978 1-cent coin, minted in Denver, where countless Lincoln cents were produced that year. But among the millions of ordinary coins, a select few slip through with extraordinary mistakes that now make them incredibly sought after by collectors around the world. And it all begins with understanding the basic design of the Lincoln cent, which by 1978 had already been in circulation for almost 70 years. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first regularly issued U.S. coin to feature a real person, and this design remained mostly unchanged throughout the decades, with Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But in 1978 the Denver Mint experienced a number of production issues, including die deterioration, improper striking techniques, misaligned dies, and other mechanical flaws, which led to a wave of error coins, including the now famous examples that can be worth over $100 today. And one of the most notable errors on the 1978 penny includes the double die obverse, in which doubling appears most prominently on the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "I in God we trust," giving the coin a ghost-like shadowed appearance that is highly noticeable under magnification and in some cases even visible to the naked eye. And while double die errors are more famously known on earlier cents like the 1955 and 1969 varieties, the 1978 examples are rare enough to generate high collector demand, especially when the doubling is dramatic and well-centered. And then there's the issue of off-center strikes, where the coin fails to be properly seated within the coin press, leading to a partial image that is often shifted to one side, leaving a blank crescent of metal. And coins struck 5% to 15% off-center are fairly common and usually worth a few dollars, but those with 50% or more of the design missing yet retaining a clear date and mint mark are significantly rarer. And in the case of the 1978 such a high-grade off-center strike with visible mint mark and full date can bring values up to $100 or more. And let's not forget about the die cracks and cuds, where cracks develop in the die face due to repeated stress and aging, which then transfer onto the coins as raised lines or blobs of metal, often appearing across Lincoln's face or the field of the coin. And large cuds where a chunk of the die breaks off result in dramatic deformities that can sometimes cover entire portions of the design. And these major cut errors are exceedingly rare and drive up the value significantly, particularly when they occur on a coin like the 1978 which already has a known record of other minting issues. And another interesting error found on some 1978 cents is the filled D or weak D mint mark, where debris, grease, or dirt fills the mint mark cavity, causing it to appear faint or completely missing. And while not every filled mint mark coin is valuable, some examples where the mark is nearly invisible or ghost-like yet still part of a strong strike are desirable, especially when combined with other anomalies like planchet errors, which occur when the coin is struck on an improperly prepared metal blank, such as one with missing copper plating resulting in exposed zinc or unusual coloration. And although the U.S. Mint did not officially changed the composition of the penny to zinc until 1982, some experimental or accidental planchets may have been used earlier, leading to coins with strange tones, pitting, or surface irregularities. And these are precisely the kinds of details collectors obsess over, because rarity plus uniqueness equals value. And that brings us to another mysterious feature sometimes seen in valuable 1978 pennies, which are strike-through errors caused when foreign materials like grease, cloth, or wire fall between the die and planchet during the minting process, creating an impression or missing design elements that are one of a kind. And such strike-throughs can be subtle or extreme, and when combined with other errors their worth skyrockets. And in some rare instances, coins from 1978 have also shown evidence of misaligned dies, resulting in obverse and reverse not perfectly aligned, causing a tilt in the strike, or even partial collar strikes, which result in a distorted rim known as a railroad rim due to its resemblance to train tracks, and these mechanical mishaps are often overlooked by casual observers, but coin professionals and hobbyists know they are gold mines in terms of value, especially if the coin remains in excellent condition, which brings us to the importance of grading, because the better the condition the more a collector is willing to pay, and a 1978 D-era penny in mint state condition, designated as MS-60 or higher by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, can easily command triple-digit prices depending on the era type, clarity, and visual impact, and collectors pay close attention to details such as luster, strike sharpness, and the presence or absence of wear, especially when evaluating copper coins, which can tone or corrode over time. And that's why if you think you might have a 1978 D penny with one or more of these anomalies, it's essential to store it properly, avoid cleaning it, and consider professional grading to confirm authenticity and assign a numerical grade, which can significantly influence its market value. And among notable auction sales in recent years, certain 1978 D pennies with major die clashes where ghost-like images of the reverse appear on the obverse have sold for well over $100, especially when encapsulated and certified by a third-party grading service. And similarly, repunched mint mark varieties where the D was punched more than once in slightly different positions have become highly desirable due to their historical minting significance and their easily recognizable nature under magnification. And for those unfamiliar, repunched mint marks or RPMs are a byproduct of the old hand-punching method used to apply mint marks prior to the 1990s, when this process was mechanized, and the 1978 D still falls within this era, making RPM varieties not only possible but confirmed by multiple collectors and catalogs. And let's also take a look at the demand side of this equation, because rarity alone doesn't make a coin valuable, it's the combination of scarcity and collector interest. And over the years, the 1978 D penny has built a quiet but steady following among Lincoln cent specialists who seek out each year and mint mark combination to complete their sets, and any variety or error not listed in major catalogs becomes a holy grail for these enthusiasts, driving up bidding wars in online auctions, estate sales, and numismatic shows. And even those outside the coin collecting community have taken interest after stories of pocket change discoveries surface in social media, news articles, and YouTube videos just like this one. And imagine the thrill of finding a common-looking 1978 D penny in your drawer or change jar, only to discover it has a minor off-center strike, a doubling on the date, and a filled D mint mark, all in decent condition. And suddenly you're holding a coin worth more than $100. And that's the magic of numismatics, the idea that even the most overlooked objects can become portals into history, stories of industrial craftsmanship, and the unpredictable beauty of human error. And as always, when hunting for valuable coins, it's important to educate yourself, examine your change closely, use a jeweler's loupe or microscope, and stay connected to online communities, forums, and auction databases to learn what's trending and what's newly discovered, because error coins are a constantly evolving field where new varieties are still being identified decades after their minting. And now that we've explored the vast array of mistakes from die breaks to strike-throughs to RPMs and more, you can see how something as seemingly simple as a 1978 D 1-cent coin can become a prized possession, and now commanding a price tag as high as $109 depending on the error, clarity, rarity, and condition. And the deeper you go, the more fascinating this story becomes, from the mechanical operations of the Denver Mint in the late 70s to the hands of modern collectors carefully preserving these anomalies for future generations. And who knows what new discoveries lie ahead? Perhaps you have one in your own pocket or coin jar right now. So don't underestimate that 1978 D penny just because it looks ordinary, because in the world of numismatics, ordinary often hides the extraordinary. And with each of these rare errors adding character and value to what would otherwise be a forgotten cent, it becomes clear that coin collecting is not just a hobby but a pursuit of hidden treasure. So take a second look at your change, examine every detail. Next, 1995 1-cent coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in modern numismatics, a coin that you may have had pass through your hands dozens of times without realizing that it could be worth over $100. And today we're unlocking the secrets behind the incredible 1995 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a piece of American currency that shocked collectors, created buzz in the numismatic community, and sparked a surge in interest that continues to this day. Because despite its humble face value of 1 cent, this particular penny has sold for up to $114 and beyond, all because of rare and fascinating mint errors that slipped through the rigorous controls of the United States Mint and made their way into general circulation, hiding in plain sight inside jars, drawers, wallets, and pockets across the country. And as we dig into the story behind the 1995 penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss any future content on rare, valuable, and unexpected treasures hiding in everyday currency, because the tale of the 1995 penny is not just about a mistake, it's about the thrill of discovery, the precision of coin production, and the rare confluence of human error and machine imperfection that turns a single copper-plated zinc disc into a high-value collectible. And to begin, we have to travel back to the mid-1990s, when the United States Mint was striking billions of pennies every year, most of them passing through unnoticed, indistinguishable from one another in their copper hue, with the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But among the 1995 batch, something different happened, something that would make history in the error coin world and create a buzz that still continues to this day. And that something was a double die obverse, an error so dramatic and visible to the naked eye that it captured the attention of coin experts, collectors, and everyday people alike. And to understand why this error is so significant, we need to briefly explore what a double die is and how it happens, because this kind of error doesn't occur from a single mistrike or a casual defect. It occurs during the die creation process itself, when a working die receives multiple impressions from a master hub to create a coin's design, and if those impressions are not perfectly aligned, it creates a die with a doubling effect already etched into it. So every coin struck by that die shows the same doubling, which isn't a result of being hit twice by the press but a structural error baked into the die itself, and the result is a coin that displays unmistakable doubling on key design features such as the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," and especially the word "Liberty," where the letters appear almost ghost-like, creating a shadowed or doubled effect that is clearly visible even without magnification. And what makes the 1995 double die obverse so unique and desirable is its sharpness and clarity. This is not a soft, barely there error only identifiable with microscopes and magnifying lenses. It's bold, prominent, and easily distinguishable from machine doubling or die deterioration doubling, which are far more common but significantly less valuable. And that boldness is what set this coin apart and caused excitement in the collecting community when it was first discovered shortly after the coins were released into circulation, with media outlets and numismatic organizations issuing alerts and guides for how to identify this valuable variant. And before long, coin dealers and treasure hunters alike were scouring their change for 1995 pennies, looking for that unmistakable doubling that could turn 1 cent into $50, $75, $100 or more. And as the years passed, the legend of the 1995 double die only grew, with certified examples in high grades commanding hundreds of dollars in auctions, and more varieties and error subtypes were discovered and cataloged by experts, expanding the range of what collectors now search for when hunting 1995 pennies. And while the double die obverse remains the king of 1995 errors, it's not the only mistake that gives this coin value, because the high volume of mintage, over 6 billion pennies struck that year, meant that other types of errors inevitably crept in, including off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process and results in a design that is visibly shifted or cut off. And while minor off-center strikes are common and not terribly valuable, those with significant displacement where the date and mint mark are still visible can be worth a surprising amount and attract strong interest from error collectors. And then there are broad strikes, where the coin is struck outside the retaining collar and spreads out wider and flatter than normal, creating a coin that appears stretched or flattened but still with all design elements intact. And 1995 pennies with this error in uncirculated condition can bring in tens of dollars easily. And let's not overlook die cracks and cuds, especially those that appear in striking places like across Lincoln's face or bisecting the date. These imperfections occur when the die used to strike the coin becomes worn or damaged and cracks under the pressure of repeated strikes, transferring raised lines or blobs of metal onto the coin itself. And while each crack is unique, larger, more dramatic ones are often considered highly collectible, especially when accompanied by other anomalies like doubling. And speaking of anomalies, there are also 1995 pennies with retained strike-throughs where foreign material like grease or debris becomes lodged between the die and planchet during striking, leading to missing or faint features. And while some strike-throughs are subtle, others are dramatic enough to wipe out entire words or parts of Lincoln's portrait and create high premiums for those who uncover them. And of course, planchet flaws remain a consistent area of intrigue with collectors, especially when they result in visual texture or discoloration that sets the coin apart from its peers. And some 1995 cents have been found with improper alloy mixes that give them a darker, streaked, or spotted appearance. And while many may dismiss these as post-mint damage, experts can authenticate them as legitimate mint errors, which dramatically increases their worth, particularly when paired with other verified issues. And then there's the matter of grading. because condition is everything in the world of numismatics, and a 1995 double die penny in circulated condition might fetch a few $dozen, but an uncirculated one, particularly graded MS65 or higher by a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC, can easily exceed $100 in value and even approach the $114 mark or more depending on market demand, eye appeal, and collector interest at the time. And the redder and more lustrous the coin, the higher the premium it commands, because cents are graded not just on detail but on color, with red, RD, being the most desirable, followed by red-brown, RB, and brown, BN, and a fully red, sharply struck 1995 double die cent can be a centerpiece in any Lincoln cent collection. So the key here is not just having the error, but having it in excellent condition and properly authenticated, and as demand for error coins has surged thanks to online marketplaces, social media, and YouTube channels like this one, the value of rare 1995 pennies continues to climb, with new varieties and error types still being discovered by sharp-eyed collectors going through coin rolls, estate sales, and old collections stored away for years, and that's part of what makes this coin so exciting. The hunt is not over, and there are still many of these valuable cents out there waiting to be found, so whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started, it pays to take a close look at your 1995 pennies and examine every detail, every letter, every part of the design for signs of doubling, misalignment, cracks, or other irregularities, because each of those could be a clue pointing to a coin worth far more than face value. And the beauty of this hobby is that anyone can get involved, because the next valuable coin discovery doesn't require a massive investment or a museum-grade collection, just attention to detail, a little knowledge, and the willingness to look closely at the coins you already have. And so as we wrap up this incredible journey into the world of the 1995 Lincoln cent, remember that what appears to be ordinary could be extraordinary, and that 1 cent might just be worth $114 or even more depending on the market and its rarity. So keep looking, keep hunting, and keep believing that treasures still lie hidden in the most unexpected places. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you're always first to know when another hidden gem of American coinage is revealed, because in the world of coins, even the smallest piece can tell the biggest story, and the 1995 penny is living proof of that. Next, 2011 D1 cent coin. We're taking a deep dive into the world of modern U.S. coinage to explore how a simple 2011 D Lincoln 1 cent coin, a coin you might dismiss as just another penny in your pocket, can actually be worth $24 or more due to a series of fascinating minting mistakes, anomalies, and unique errors that make these coins incredibly valuable to collectors and hobbyists across the globe. So if you love the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovering overlooked gems in your spare change, and the deep historical and mechanical background behind the U.S. Mint's coin production process, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations into the world of numismatics. And now let's dive straight into what makes the 2011 D penny such a shockingly valuable coin, and how the details hidden in this modern-day cent can reveal so much more than meets the eye. Because while the coin's face value is just 1 cent, some of these have fetched upwards of $24 due to a number of errors and unique characteristics that transform them from everyday currency into collectible rarities. And to understand why these coins are commanding such impressive prices, let's start with the basics. The 2011 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which has long been known for producing a high volume of circulation coins, and in 2011, the U.S. Mint continued its production of the Shield Reverse Lincoln cents, which had been introduced only the year before, replacing the Lincoln Memorial design that had been in use since 1959. And the obverse of the 2011 D penny still features the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse, now featuring the Union Shield symbolizing national unity and federal strength, was created by artist Lyndall Bass and sculpted by U.S. Mint engraver Joseph Mena. And this design change marked a new era in Lincoln cent history, but with that transition came a variety of production issues and striking inconsistencies that led to a number of error coins making it out of the mint undetected and into circulation. And the first and perhaps most significant type of error that has collectors excited about the 2011 D penny is the double die variety, particularly on the obverse, where subtle but distinct doubling can sometimes be found on Lincoln's profile, especially around the eyes, nose, and lips, as well as on the inscriptions "I in God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 2011. And although not as pronounced as the famous 1955 or 1969 double die. Since the doubling on the 2011 D coins is rare enough and clear enough in some examples to generate high interest among collectors, especially when certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and the best part is that many of these errors are still being discovered by everyday people going through pocket change or coin rolls, and that's why this information is not just for hardcore collectors but also for anyone curious about what unexpected treasures might be hiding in their change jar or couch cushions. And then we have the next category of mistakes known as off-center strikes, which occur when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be shifted and part of the blank planchet left exposed. And in the case of the 2011 D penny, off-center strikes ranging from 5% to over 50% have been reported, with the most valuable examples showing a dramatic shift in the design while still preserving the full date and D mint mark, which is essential for identification. And these coins in high grades can easily fetch $20 or more depending on the severity of the error and the coin's overall condition. And some particularly spectacular off-center 2011 D cents with 70% or more of the design missing and strong detail in the visible area have been auctioned for even higher prices among error coin specialists. And another interesting category of errors in the 2011 D series is the die break and die chip phenomenon, which occurs as the working dies begin to deteriorate or crack under the stress of repeated high-speed coin striking, and over time small cracks or breaks in the die appear, and these translate to raised lines or lumps on the coin's surface, commonly referred to as die cracks or die chips. And collectors often nickname the most prominent die chips with fun labels such as spiked head or crown chip when they appear on Lincoln's head or face. And in the 2011 D penny, a popular die chip appears on the Union Shield reverse, where blobs of metal form between the shield's bars or along the edges, giving the coin a distinctive appearance. And some collectors specifically hunt for coins with these types of die breaks because each one is technically unique and reflects a moment in the mint's production timeline. And while these may not command as much value individually as a dramatic double die or off-center strike, they still contribute to the coin's desirability, especially when combined with other minor anomalies or found in pristine uncirculated condition. And then we enter the realm of plating issues and planchet flaws, which are more common in post-1982 pennies due to their copper-plated zinc composition, which is more susceptible to striking errors and corrosion. And the 2011 D penny is no exception, with multiple reports of plating bubbles, missing copper layers, exposed zinc, and coins struck on defective planchets, all of which can contribute to their market value. And coins with visible bubbles on the surface or patches where the copper plating is missing are often considered mint errors, particularly when the flaws are large and affect the design elements. And some 2011 D cents have also been found struck through grease, a condition where debris or grease partially fills the die cavities, leading to missing or distorted design details, especially in areas like the motto or the shield stripes. And strike-through errors can be subtle or dramatic, but either way they're valued for their uniqueness. And in a modern coin like the 2011 D that was produced in such large quantities, any meaningful deviation from the standard is of particular interest to collectors because it signifies that something went wrong during an otherwise highly controlled minting process. And one of the more elusive but highly prized errors is the transitional error, which occurs when a coin is struck using dies intended for another year metal composition or design. And while no officially confirmed transitional errors exist for the 2011 D penny, it remains a subject of speculation and interest because the mint occasionally uses leftover or misdated dies, especially during design transitions or when experimenting with materials. And collectors frequently scrutinize the edge, weight, and metallurgical composition of these coins to determine whether any unnoticed variants exist. And it's this kind of meticulous investigation that has led to some of the most groundbreaking discoveries in U.S. coin history. And even small things like a filled or partially missing mint mark on the 2011 D can be a point of fascination, especially when the D appears faint due to grease fill in the die cavity or other striking issues. And this filled D error can add value, particularly when found on coins that also display other irregularities. And we can't forget about misaligned die strikes either, where the obverse and reverse dies are slightly out of position, leading to a coin with a visible tilt or displacement in the design. And while minor misalignments are common, only those with significant displacement or other compound errors are worth grading and preserving. And the highest prices for 2011 D pennies have come when multiple errors are present on the same coin, such as a combination of die chip, off-center strike, and strike-through, all on a mint state uncirculated example. And this convergence of factors, rarity, demand, condition, and visual appeal, is what drives prices up and creates buzz in the collecting community. And let's talk about the market for these coins, which has been growing steadily over the past decade as more collectors turn their attention to modern errors and realize that rare coins are not limited to ancient silver dollars or pre 1900 mintage, but can also be found in the everyday pocket change of the 21st century, and online marketplaces like eBay and Etsy have listings of 2011 D error pennies selling anywhere from $5 to $30 depending on the nature of the error and the coin's condition, and certified examples with well-documented errors routinely exceed the $20 mark, making this one of the most intriguing modern pennies to collect. And because the 2011 D was struck in such high numbers, it offers a great opportunity for roll hunting and error spotting, which is why collectors love searching through bank rolls or mixed change to find that one unusual cent with a die chip or a faintly doubled date that could be worth 24 times its face value. And with growing interest from new collectors, as well as the support of digital tools like coin grading apps, online image comparison sites, and numismatic databases, the chances of identifying one of these valuable coins have never been greater. And so whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the world of coins, now is the perfect time to get involved. Check your spare change, look closely at every 2011 D penny you come across, and remember that the smallest details could turn an ordinary cent into a valuable collectible. And as the world of modern coin errors. Next, 2006 1 cent coin. If you're someone who enjoys discovering hidden gems and treasures tucked away in plain sight, make sure you watch until the very end, because what may seem like a simple 1 cent coin minted in 2006 could actually be worth up to $48 or even more in certain cases. And the reasons behind this surprising value lie in the captivating universe of mint errors, striking anomalies, and the sheer unpredictability of the coin production process, which can turn an ordinary Lincoln penny into a numismatic prize. So stay tuned as we explore the specifics of the 2006 1 cent coin and break down exactly what makes some of these coins so incredibly valuable. Now, starting off, we must first understand that the 2006 Lincoln cent was minted in massive numbers, with over 4 billion coins produced across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. And this high mintage figure might at first suggest that these coins are too common to be worth anything significant, but therein lies the paradox. Because it is within such massive production runs that mistakes are more likely to happen, and these mistakes or mint errors are what collectors keep a sharp eye out for, since they often lead to the creation of highly collectible coins. So let's dig into what types of errors and features have been reported on the 2006 1 cent that cause such price spikes and bring in big money in auctions and private sales alike. One of the most sought-after error types for the 2006 cent involves doubled dies, which occur when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment or is struck more than once in slightly different positions, leading to visible doubling of design elements like the date, the motto "I in God We Trust," the word liberty, or the lettering in United States of America on the reverse. And while doubled die obverse tend to garner more attention, reverse doubled dies can be equally valuable depending on the clarity and visibility of the doubling under magnification, or even to the naked eye. Now, a confirmed doubled die on a 2006 cent can command prices ranging from a few dollars for minor examples all the way up to the mid-double-digit range, like $48 or more when the doubling is prominent and the coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition. Another major class of error that drives the value up on 2006 pennies includes off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly aligned within the striking chamber, causing the design to be misaligned and cut off at an angle. And depending on how far off-center the strike is and whether the date is still visible, such coins can sell for quite a premium, because collectors love dramatic errors that offer an eye-catching visual departure from standard coins. For instance, a 2006 cent struck 30% off-center with a fully visible date and no post-mint damage could easily be worth upwards of $40 to $60 depending on condition and eye appeal. Now let's talk about broad strikes, which are another form of mint error that occur when the coin is struck without a collar die, allowing the metal to spread out more than usual, resulting in a coin that appears wider and flatter than normal. And broad-struck coins, especially when they're well-centered and have a clear date and design, can easily attract collector interest and command values around $20 to $50 or more, particularly if the coin also has other unusual features. And one cannot ignore the value that comes with coins struck on the wrong planchet, an extremely rare and coveted type of error where a cent is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a dime or a foreign coin planchet accidentally fed into the machine. And while such examples are exceedingly rare for 2006 cents, any confirmed specimen of this kind is considered a numismatic oddity and can fetch several $100s, even crossing the $1,000 mark depending on the metal composition, weight, and diagnostic features. Moving on, another significant error type found among 2006 pennies includes die cracks and die breaks, particularly in the form of retained or full cuds. A cut is formed when a portion of the die breaks away, leading to a raised blob-like area on the coin where design details are missing and replaced by a blob of metal. And such retained cuds or full cuds on the rim, especially near the date or the motto, can attract a lot of collector interest and are often valued between $25 to $75 depending on size, visibility, and location of the error. Now we must also take into account the quality of the strike and the overall condition of the coin, because even a minor error on a near-perfect coin graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can substantially raise its value, since collectors tend to pay a premium for coins that are not only rare in terms of errors but also in top-tier condition. And it's not just mint errors that matter but also variations in composition and color, for instance 2006 cents that exhibit unusual toning patterns or rainbow-like coloration can be extremely desirable if the toning is natural and attractive, because some collectors specialize in toned coins and are willing to pay extra for pieces that stand out. Even artificially toned coins can stir debate and attention in numismatic circles, although natural toning always carries more weight in terms of collector value. Additionally, some 2006 pennies are known to have been weakly struck with details missing or faded on one side while the other remains sharp and well-defined, often referred to as strike-through errors, which happen when grease or debris gets in the die, preventing full design transfer and creating a ghost-like or partial image, which in some cases can be dramatic enough to command prices in the $30 to $50 range or more, especially if combined with other die anomalies or if it creates an artistic or symmetrical effect that appeals to collectors. Furthermore, transitional errors, while rare, have also been known to cause major spikes in value. And although not commonly associated with the 2006 series, one cannot completely rule out the discovery of transitional planchet coins where a cent was struck using leftover blanks from a previous or different year or even a different composition, such as experimental or test planchets, which can skyrocket value into the hundreds or thousands if authenticated. Now, another major driver of value for 2006 cents is collector demand and population scarcity in high grades, with most 2006 pennies entering circulation and acquiring wear quickly. Mint state coins, especially those graded MS66 and higher, are in demand simply because of their relative scarcity, and adding even a minor error to such a high-grade coin increases the rarity factor exponentially. Now let's also not forget about machine doubling, which, while less valuable than true doubled dies, can still attract attention if it creates an unusual or aesthetically interesting visual effect, particularly on uncirculated coins. Now, when it comes to authentication and valuation, many collectors turn to third-party grading companies like PCGS and NGC to confirm whether their 2006 cent contains a true mint error or anomaly, and to have their coin encapsulated and certified, which adds trust and perceived value, particularly in the resale market where certified error coins generally fetch higher bids. And beyond all these technical and mechanical error types, we must also talk about die clashes, another type of error where the obverse and reverse dies come into contact without a planchet in between, resulting in mirrored ghost images of one side appearing faintly on the other. And while these can sometimes be subtle, more dramatic die clashes that are clearly visible on the 2006 cent have been known to sell for over $30 depending on clarity and placement. And all these possibilities illustrate just how many ways a simple coin can deviate from the norm and become a unique collectible. And while each error type has its own category and value range, it is the combination of factors that truly determines worth. For example, a coin with an off-center strike, rainbow toning, and a retained cut all in mint state condition could easily surpass the $48 mark due to its compounded rarity and eye-catching qualities. And as collectors know, the thrill of the hunt is just as exciting as the value of the find. And with so many 2006 pennies still sitting in drawers, jars, and old rolls waiting to be examined, the potential for discovering an error coin hiding in plain sight remains very real and incredibly exciting. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, it's worth taking a closer look at every 2006 cent you come across, because you never know if you might be holding onto a small piece of minting history that could be worth far more than its face value. And if you enjoyed learning about this remarkable 1-cent coin and the world of errors that can make it so valuable, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel for more rare coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next big discovery hiding in your change. Next, 2002 1-cent coin. Today we unravel the story of a seemingly ordinary 2002 1-cent coin that has made headlines for being valued at an incredible $52 due to a combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and collector interest that elevates its humble appearance into the realm of sought-after numismatic treasures. And if you're curious about how a modern penny minted in the 21st century becomes a hot item among collectors, then stay tuned as we peel back the layers of mystery and detail surrounding the 2002 Lincoln cent, a coin that is part of a long and fascinating tradition of error coins that continue to stir the imagination and attention of coin hunters and history lovers alike. And to begin with, let's first understand the basic framework of this coin, which was minted at the Denver Mint in 2002 during a time when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents each year, and in fact the total mintage for the 2002 D-penny was well over 3.3 billion pieces, making it one of the most mass-produced coins in recent history. And yet within this massive mintage lies the key to its value, because with high-volume production comes the increased likelihood of minting mistakes and errors that escape the rigorous quality control systems and make their way into circulation, where lucky finders can stumble upon them and turn what is normally just a cent into a coin value dozens of times higher than its face value. So what makes the 2002 D-penny particularly special in the eyes of collectors is the range of errors and varieties that have surfaced in circulation and on the market, which include die cracks, cut breaks, off-center strikes, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, planchet flaws, and even striking anomalies caused by mechanical failures during the minting process. And among these, the most sought after and valuable are the dramatic die breaks and cuts, which appear as raised areas or blobs of metal typically found near the rim or extending into Lincoln's portrait or the lettering of the coin, and these occur when a portion of the die used to strike the coin breaks off, causing metal to fill the resulting void on the die during the strike and producing a unique raised area on the coin's surface. And since each die break or cut is unique, coins with these types of errors are essentially one of a kind or exist in very small numbers, making them highly collectible. And then there are the double die errors, which result from misalignments during the hubbing process, when the working die receives more than one impression from the hub but not in the exact same position, leading to a doubling of design elements like the date, motto, or Lincoln's features. And while these are more famously seen in earlier dates like the 1955 double die or 1969 S double die, examples have also been reported for the 2002 D-penny, particularly involving minor doubling visible under magnification on areas like Liberty or the date, which, although subtle, still fetch higher values when authenticated and attributed by grading services. And the repunched mint mark or RPM is another collectible variety, where the D mint mark, originally hand-punched in earlier years but machine added in 2002, shows signs of being struck more than once in slightly offset positions. And even though by 2002 the mint mark was part of the die itself and not manually punched, what sometimes occurs are die polishing or mechanical doubling effects that mimic RPM appearances, which, though technically not true RPMs, are still of interest to collectors who specialize in varieties. And machine doubling or strike doubling, which can also occur from die bounce or die chatter during the minting process, often results in flat, shelf-like doubling that, while not as valuable as true double dies, can still enhance a coin's appeal when dramatic enough or combined with other anomalies. And then there are off-center strikes, which are coins that are not perfectly aligned with the dies during striking, leading to part of the design being missing or shifted. And when this occurs to a noticeable degree, say 5 to 15% off-center, and especially if the date is still fully visible, such errors can command much higher values in the marketplace. And there have also been examples of 2002 D-pennies struck on improper planchets, such as dime stock or foreign coin blanks, which result in coins that are the wrong weight, color, or size. And these planchet errors can be extremely valuable depending on their rarity and visual appeal, and sometimes a coin might be missing its copper plating, revealing the zinc core and creating a distinctive silvery appearance, which, while not necessarily a true error if due to post-mint damage, can sometimes occur due to incomplete plating at the mint and when authenticated as genuine mint errors. These plating anomalies add another layer of collectability, and some 2002 D cents have shown signs of being struck through grease or other debris, which prevents the design from fully transferring to the coin's surface and results in a weak or missing detail, especially on Lincoln's face or the motto. And such strike-through errors, when significant, are often valued by collectors for their uniqueness and variety appeal. And another fascinating aspect of error coins, including the 2002 D-penny, is the role of die deterioration and die clashes, which occur as dies wear out over time or when obverse and reverse dies come into contact without a planchet in between, leaving behind ghost-like impressions or marks on the coin that are considered die clash errors. And when visible, these errors tell a fascinating story of the coin's production life and journey through the minting machinery. And collectors love coins that can tell such stories through their scars and anomalies. And while not all errors command high premiums, those that combine multiple types, like an off-center strike with a die crack or a doubled die with a strike through, can dramatically increase a coin's value. especially when in high grade and authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and even minor errors can see their values boosted when the coin is in mint state condition, since uncirculated coins retain their original luster and detail and appeal strongly to collectors seeking pristine examples of rare varieties. And while most 2002D pennies remain face value coins, those with even modest errors can be listed online or sold at shows for several dollars, and more dramatic or rare errors can easily bring in $50 or more, with documented sales of 2002D cents reaching and exceeding $52 in cases of dramatic CUDs, strong doubling, or combined errors, especially when encapsulated in tamper-proof holders with official error designations. And this increasing interest in error coins is driven in part by the rise of coin roll hunting and YouTube channels like ours, where enthusiasts share their finds, discoveries, and knowledge, helping others learn what to look for, and creating a lively and growing community of collectors and hobbyists who cherish the thrill of discovering hidden value in everyday pocket change. And that's the beauty of the 2002D 1-cent coin. It's a reminder that even in our modern, machine-driven world, imperfections still find a way to slip through, and in doing so create something rare, valuable, and historically intriguing. And whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started in the world of numismatics, the story of the 2002D penny shows that you don't need ancient gold coins or million-dollar rarities to participate in the thrill of the hunt, because value can be found in the most unexpected places, and a little knowledge combined with attention to detail can turn a simple coin into a prized possession. And that's why we always encourage our viewers to check their pocket change, examine every coin closely, and learn the subtle signs of minting errors and varieties, because you never know when you might be holding a coin worth $52 or more simply because of a flaw or anomaly that makes it special and rare. And as always, if you found this story fascinating and want to learn more about how ordinary coins become extraordinary treasures, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of amazing coin facts, real values, and incredible error discoveries that continue to make numismatics one of the most rewarding hobbies in the world. Last, we dive deep into the astonishing world of valuable coins that you might just have sitting in your pocket, drawer, or coin jar right now. And today, we're about to explore an exciting and captivating mystery surrounding the 2017 P. Lincoln penny, a humble 1-cent coin that, due to surprising errors and minting anomalies, has fetched values as high as $21 in the collector's market, turning what many see as just spare change into big money and an object of numismatic fascination. So whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, you'll want to stay tuned as we unravel the minting mistakes, overlooked details, and unexpected quirks that elevate this seemingly ordinary coin into a piece of American coinage history that carries a story much richer than its 1-cent face value suggests. And it all starts with understanding why the 2017 P penny is so special, because for the first time in the 225-year history of the United States Mint, the Philadelphia Mint included its P mint mark on the Lincoln cent, something that had never been done before, as the Philadelphia Mint had traditionally left its coins, especially pennies, without any mint mark at all. So when collectors and enthusiasts realized that the 2017 penny bore this historic mark, it immediately became a key date coin, even without any errors, due to its commemorative nature and the Mint's decision to honor its long-standing role in U.S. coin production by breaking tradition for 1 year only, making the 2017 P penny an instant target for both hoarders and historians, and adding a layer of historical relevance that already lifts it from the mundane to the memorable. But what truly makes certain 2017 P pennies worth $21 or more isn't just the historic mint mark, it's the multitude of errors and minting mishaps that occurred during production, because the sheer volume of these coins struck, combined with rushed production schedules and aging equipment, led to an unusually high number of flawed specimens entering circulation. And each of these mint-made errors offers unique characteristics that collectors seek out, pushing their market value far beyond the coin's intended worth, starting with double dies, which are among the most exciting and valuable errors in coin collecting. And on the 2017 P penny, enthusiasts have identified double die obverse, DDO, varieties where elements like the date, the word liberty, and even the motto "In God We Trust" show clear signs of doubling, especially under magnification, where the serifs and edges of letters appear split or echoed, and depending on the clarity and location of the doubling, these errors can dramatically increase the value of the coin, with some examples being purchased by collectors for over $21 and rising, especially when the doubling is strong and easily visible to the naked eye. And then there are off-center strikes, another highly desirable error type, where the coin's Design is struck improperly, missing part of the image due to misalignment during the minting process, and the more off-center it is, while still showing the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes, with some 2017 pennies struck 10% to 30% off-center, gaining attention from collectors who prize the uniqueness of each misaligned strike. And in addition to these, die cracks and die breaks have also been discovered in this issue, where parts of the die used to strike the coin become damaged or broken, leaving behind raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface, commonly referred to as cut errors when they occur near the rim or along the edge of the coin, and these can vary in size and location, making every coin with such a flaw a one-of-a-kind piece that attracts error collectors who value the artistic and mechanical failures of the minting process. And then we encounter the fascinating world of plating blisters and lamination errors, where imperfections in the coin's metal composition or its copper plating can cause bubbling, peeling, or missing portions of the surface, leading to strange and eerie appearances that set them apart from standard issues. And while some might mistake these for post-mint damage, trained collectors know how to differentiate genuine mint-made anomalies from environmental wear. And such authentic mint errors on the 2017 penny have been known to spike its value beyond $21 when certified by grading authorities and preserved in good condition. And it doesn't stop there, because some 2017 cents have been found with missing elements, such as the mint mark itself being faint or partially struck due to grease-filled dies, or letters in the motto and inscriptions being incomplete or deformed, all of which contribute to the uniqueness of the coin and attract attention from those who specialize in error varieties. And what makes the 2017 penny even more fascinating is the sheer number of these error types that have been identified, from minor die clashes where ghostly outlines of reverse elements appear on the obverse due to misalignment, to misstruck coins showing multiple strike marks, blockage errors where the imprint of one coin transfers onto another due to stacking in the press, or even transitional errors if any leftover blanks from previous years were mistakenly used during minting, leading to anomalies in metal content or weight. And speaking of weight, some 2017 pennies have been found with slightly heavier or lighter weights than the standard 2.5 grams, suggesting possible planchet mix-ups or inconsistencies in the zinc core or copper plating process. And when collectors find these coins and have them weighed, they can sometimes confirm the error and increase the coin's value, especially when paired with visual flaws that support the theory of a planchet issue. And among all these possibilities, the market for the 2017 penny remains active and speculative, with prices influenced by demand, visibility of the error, condition of the coin, and its certification by reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC, where coins given higher grades with verified errors can sell at auctions or online marketplaces for $21 or more depending on the intensity and appeal of the anomaly. And it's worth noting that many collectors are still searching for new and undiscovered varieties within this single year of production, making the 2017 penny a modern-day treasure hunt for numismatists and hobbyists alike. And since hundreds of millions of these coins were released into circulation, it means that anyone, even someone who doesn't actively collect coins, could potentially come across one of these error coins and hold in their hands a cent that's worth $21 or even more, simply because of a tiny flaw, a twist of fate, and the eyes to recognize it, which is why so many coin enthusiasts recommend examining every penny that passes through your hands, especially those dated 2017 with the mint mark, and comparing them closely under magnification to identify doubled elements, signs of die wear, off-center designs, or even unusual textures that could point to a lamination issue or plating flaw. And as more examples are discovered and reported, especially those with new error classifications or dramatic visual differences, the 2017 penny continues to build a legacy as one of the most accessible yet intriguing coins in recent numismatic history, combining a historic minting decision with a wide array of mint-made errors, giving collectors multiple layers of value, from historical significance to the thrill of the error hunt. And as these coins age and the best examples are taken out of circulation, the rarity of certain varieties will only increase, meaning the values of such coins may continue to rise beyond $21, especially as more people learn about their existence and join the search. So, whether you're a beginner curious about coin collecting or a long-time enthusiast always on the lookout for the next valuable cent, the 2017 penny offers one of the best opportunities to explore error coin collecting in the modern era, providing a rich combination of history, scarcity, and minting mystery that proves once again that every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth far more than just 1 cent. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, take a second look. Because it might just be a 2017 P with a flaw that turns it into a tiny piece of history worth $21 or more. And if you found this journey into the world of the 2017 P penny fascinating and informative, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into rare and valuable coins, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a chance to discover what could be hiding in your own pocket change.